This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Monday, June 16th. It will be warm and humid in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for not only today, but for the week. There will be a chance for an afternoon thunderstorm today, cloudy and humid this evening with a low of 76. Here are today's headlines. Governor Greg Abbott is scheduled to hold a bill signing ceremony Monday afternoon in Denton for legislation approved recently by state lawmakers that aims to provide tax relief for property owners. According to a news release from the governor's office, Abbott will be joined at the Robson Ranch Clubhouse by a host of local and state dignitaries. A package of property tax cuts for homeowners was sent to Abbott after two key bills were approved during the recently completed legislative session by state lawmakers that raised the state's homestead exemption. Once the governor signs the legislation, Texas voters must still endorse the proposal in November. The bills would approve two constitutional amendments, one that would raise the exemption from $100,000 to $140,000, and a second measure that would raise the exemption to $200,000 for state residents with disabilities or those who are 65 and older. The $140,000 exemption in Senate Bill 4, which would apply to all homeowners, would save an average of nearly $500 in taxes per year when combined with the lower school district taxes in the state budget. SB 4 includes a provision guaranteeing school districts would not lose funding because of the higher exemption. The state would make up the difference. In other news, people with spinal cord injuries are getting a new lease on life thanks to a tiny neck implant paired with physical therapy. In a study published last month in the journal Nature, researchers at the University of Texas at Dallas showed that pairing a nearly dime-sized vagus nerve stimulator with targeted hand and arm exercises helped people with incomplete spinal cord injuries regain movement and the ability to do everyday activities like zipping a zipper or latching a necklace in just 12 weeks. Vagus nerve stimulation involves electrically stimulating the vagus nerve, the longest of the 12 cranial nerves that runs from the brain to the large intestine. Working much like a pacemaker for the brain, vagus nerve stimulation was first federally approved in 1997 for treating epilepsy and is now being considered for conditions ranging from depression and post-traumatic stress disorder to autoimmune diseases and obesity. Next up, sightings of an invasive species have been on the rise in North Texas. Hammerhead worms, named for their distinct hammer-shaped head, are a species of worm endemic to Southeast Asia, but they have become an invasive species in the United States. They can grow up to a foot long. According to the Texas Invasive Species Institute, hammerhead worms are also toxic and can cause skin irritation to humans and animals. They can also carry parasites. Hammerhead worms are able to reproduce asexually and do so in a hydra-like manner. Experts warn not to attempt to cut the worm in half if you see one, as the two pieces of the worm will then become two worms. The worm is a natural predator of earthworms, which are necessary for crop growth and development. Experts advise killing the worm using a spray of citrus oil and white vinegar. The worms can also be killed by soaking them in salt or vinegar, or by freezing them in a sealed Ziploc bag for 24 to 48 hours. It is also recommended to wear gloves while handling the worm and thoroughly wash your hands afterwards due to the toxins the worm can transfer to humans. And RJ Yoakum, one of Dallas's few remaining nominees for a James Beard Award, is no longer the executive chef at Dallas fine dining restaurant Georgie. Restaurant owner Stephan Courseau confirmed Yoakum's departure to the Dallas Morning News Sunday. Courseau said it was his decision. No other details were given as to why the former French Laundry chef was asked to leave Georgie. The restaurant was honored in 2024 in the Michelin Guide Texas as a recommended restaurant. Yoakum had already been recognized in news stories from Dallas publications as a pedigreed chef, making some of the city's most inventive plates. His smoked tomato soup with grilled cheese custard won Best Bite at Chefs for Farmers, an annual food festival. Some Dallas diners started buzzing about Yoakum, and quickly Georgie was packed with curious diners wanting a taste of the California chef's food. Last April, Dee called him the talk of Dallas. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.